Every day, our bodies tell a story written in every step we take, every stair we climb, every object we lift, and every hour we spend working, sitting, moving, and living. Yet many of these stories go unnoticed. The gradual loss of flexibility, the decline in endurance, the hidden changes in body composition, and the subtle signs of reduced strength, changes that often remain silent until they begin to affect our daily lives. But what if we could identify these changes? What if awareness became the first step toward better health? With this vision, the Physiotherapy Screening Program 2026 was conducted on the 3rd of June, 2026, for the staff members of the university. This initiative was organized by the Human Resource Development Unit of the university in collaboration with the Department of Physiotherapy, Faculty of Allied Health Sciences.
Participants began their journey at the Registration and Anthropometric Assessment Station. At this station, basic information such as name and age was recorded. Height and body weight were measured using standard equipment. Waist and hip circumferences were also measured. These measurements were used to calculate body mass index, or BMI, and waist-to-hip ratio. Together, these assessments provided important information about overall health and body composition.
In this station, we get participant information, name, age, gender. After getting information, we measure their weight, height, waist ratio, and after complete, we can measure their BMI.
Participants then moved to the Cardiovascular Endurance Assessment Station. Cardiovascular endurance was assessed using the 6-minute walk test. Participants were asked to walk continuously along a designated pathway for 6 minutes. They walked at a comfortable pace while trying to cover as much distance as possible. At the end of 6 minutes, the total distance walked was recorded. This test provided an indication of aerobic fitness and functional endurance.
In this station, we have measured the pathway to 10 meters and we encourage the patient to walk as soon as they can without running, and the patient should be able to talk when they are walking. And then we are taking the laps, how much they have walked during the 6 minutes time, and after that, as soon as they finish, they are measuring the blood pressure and the saturation, and they are calculating about the cardiovascular endurance of these participants.
The next station focused on flexibility assessment. Participants performed the bend and stretch test. They bent forward from long sitting while keeping their knees straight. The distance reached was measured and recorded. This assessment helped evaluate the flexibility of the lower back and hamstring muscles.
In this station, we are checking the flexibility of all the participants we are having in the screening program. So here we are using the sit and reach test, which the patient have to sit on the mat with long sitting position, and we are telling the patient to bend as much as they can, and we are counting how much centimeters they can reach, and we are calculating about the flexibility of the participant.
The assessment journey then continued to the body composition analysis station. Body composition was assessed using bioelectrical impedance analysis, commonly known as BIA. Participants stood barefoot on the analysis device. A safe and very low electrical current passed through the body. Using the body's resistance to this current, the device estimated body fat percentage and other body composition measurements.
In this station, according to the patient's weight and height, we are with the bioimpedance analysis machine, we are checking the patient's total fat content and the visceral fat and the muscle mass, water content, and we are getting the body age of the patient.
The next station focused on muscle strength assessment. Strength of the knee muscles was measured using a handheld dynamometer. Participants pushed against the device with maximum effort while measurements were recorded. Upper limb strength was assessed using a hand grip dynamometer. Participants were instructed to squeeze the device as hard as possible. The highest force generated was then recorded.
In this station, we are going to measure participants' muscle strength. So, we are going to measure forearm muscle strength by hand grip dynamometer and quadriceps and hamstring muscle strength by hand hold dynamometer. For these measurements, from these measurements, we can take an idea about the muscle strength of the participant, which is useful for day-to-day activities.
Following the strength assessment, participants proceeded to the muscular endurance station. Muscular endurance was evaluated using the partial curl-up test. Participants performed controlled curl-up movements while maintaining the correct technique. The number of successful repetitions completed before fatigue was recorded. This provided a measure of abdominal muscular endurance.
So this is the station of muscular endurance. In here, we are measuring the core endurance of the patient. So for that, we are doing the curl-ups, and here we are measuring how many repetitions that the patient can do maximally. And then this is our final station. Then we are referring the patient to the consultation, which is conducted by our academic staff.
After completing all assessment stations, participants met with the academic staff of the Department of Physiotherapy. The results from each assessment were reviewed and explained. Individualized feedback was provided based on the findings. Participants also received professional guidance on physical fitness, healthy lifestyle practices, exercise recommendations, and strategies to improve their overall health and well-being.